We're going to do absolute value equations. So to start with, let's think about when I say absolute value of x, what do I mean? Absolute value of x is asking me what is the distance from 0 of whatever x is. So absolute value is distance from 0. So for example, if I say absolute value of x is 3, solve for x, I'm really saying what values of x are 3 units. Their distance from 0 is 3. So if I look at the number line, here I am at 0. If I go 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3, I get one value, positive 3. But I can also go 3 to the left because the distance would still be 3, and that gives me negative 3. So the solution for absolute value of x is 3. I get two values, positive 3 or negative 3 are the two values that are 3 units from 0. So basically what I can say, the absolute value to be 3, absolute value is always a positive answer. To get 3, that means the inside x could be either positive 3 or the inside could be negative 3. So we're going to use this idea to get all other solutions of absolute value equations. So as an example, suppose I say absolute value of 2x plus 1 is 9. So in this absolute value equation, the inside, to get an answer of 9, the inside is either equal to positive 9 or the inside is negative 9. So we're going to set up two equations from that. The inside, 2x plus 1, could either be positive 9, because its absolute value would be 9, or the inside, 2x plus 1, could be negative 9. So once I've seen those two, I can now subtract 1 from both sides. I have 2x here is 8. So dividing by 2, x is 4. That's one value. Or doing the same thing here, I have 2x is negative 9 and negative 1 is negative 10. Dividing both sides by 2, I get x is negative 5. So those are the two values I could substitute in, and they would give me an absolute value of 9. So those become the two solutions for that absolute value equation. Another problem is, suppose I say absolute value 2x plus 1 is 0. This is an example where the only way you can get a 0 is 0 in the inside, because 0 and negative 0 are the same. So this particular absolute value equation has just one answer. 2x plus 1 is 0. And then we subtract 1. We get 2x is negative 1. Dividing by 2, x is negative a half. So solving this absolute value equation, we only get one answer because there's no such thing as 0 and negative 0 being different. So in all of these, we're solving for x. So in most cases, we're going to get two values. Here, when it's 0, we get 1. Let's do a third one. That's kind of tricky. This third example, I'm going to say, what if the absolute value of 2x plus 1 is negative 5? This one is something we can't do because an absolute value being distance, absolute value should always be positive. And because it isn't, in this one, we'd say there's no solution. Now we're ready to do one that's a little more complicated. In this one, I'm going to do the absolute value, solve for x of course, the absolute value of 5x minus 8 is the absolute value of 3x plus 2. For this absolute value, we can either say the two inside quantities are the same. 5x minus 8 is the same as 3x plus 2, or this inside, 5x minus 8, and this one are differ by a negative, because one could be positive number, the other could be the negative. So minus 3x plus 2. Now we proceed to solve this. I'll subtract 3x from both sides. I'll add 8 to both sides. And I get 2x is 10, so one value is 5. Now for this one, I have 5x minus 8. I have to distribute the negative through. Negative 3x minus 2. Add 3x to both sides. Add 8 to both sides. And I get 8x is negative 2 plus 8 is 6. So x is 6 over 8, which can be reduced to 3 over 4. Now normally, unless I ask you to check, you wouldn't, but let's just check this to see what happens. If we let x be 5, we get the absolute value of 5 times 5 minus 8 on one side, and on this side we get 3 times 5 plus 2. Well, in this one, the inside of the absolute value, 25 minus 8 is 17. In this one, the inside is 17. So both of them were the same. So we get absolute value of 17 is the absolute value of 17. So that worked out very nice when x was 5. It checks off. Now checking the other one, we let x be 3/4. So we get absolute value of 5 times 3/4 minus 8. And then the other side, we've got 3 times 3/4 plus 2. So this involves doing some fractions. So the inside of this, its absolute value of 15/4 minus 8 over 1. We'll finish that. And the question is that the same as 9/4 plus 2 over 1? What I get here is I have the absolute value 15 minus 32, negative 17 over 4. And then on this side, I have absolute value 9 plus 8, 17 over 4. So sure enough, the absolute value of the negative one is 17/4, and the absolute value here is 17/4. So we did check off. So we can see from this that both of those were solutions. So now we'll do a general format for how to solve these. If we say absolute value of box equals triangle, so whatever you have in here equals triangle. A triangle is some number. The two equations I would set up is I'd have to say box equals triangle, or the inside equals minus triangle. Then you would, whatever box is, it's some expression with x's, you would go further and solve. Now looking at the other example, if I said solve absolute value of box equals absolute value of triangle. Now if you have absolute value of an expression equals absolute value of another expression, let's see what the two equations you're going to set up, and then from there it will lead to the answer. For this one, whatever's inside here will equal whatever's in there, or whatever's in one of the absolute value, you will put a minus in front of whatever in the other one. And then you'll proceed after that to solve for either x or whatever variable.